so your center and your seam match, and then you just pull everything else up to fit. Now here I'm going to, this side isn't quite enough, I need to pull this side up a little more. Here it is.
So you're gathering the sleeve so that it's
yes,
right,
so it fits, it matches our little bias band that we have just, yes,
okay.
The band that we have just done there. And you just want to kind of have those all even. And if you are going to bother to pin, and I'm not going to make it that accurate right now, but if you're going to pin this way so it holds more than the diameter of the pin. And see, that's going to really fit in there pretty nice the way I had it pretty much gathered. If it's a little bit flat under the arm, that's perfectly fine, because that's what you would have done with your smocking on the sleeve anyway. So it's okay to leave that just a little bit flat. I'm going to come back here. I've got a longer stitch on here too, and I'm going to go ahead and use it. But if you sew on the inside of your circle, what happens is all your fabric is out of the way. If you sew on the other side, you're always fighting all of your fabric. So you don't want to do that. You want to do it like so. And forgive the fact that I'm not going to keep this all perfectly smooth. But do we have that all again? Or did she take hers? Okay, you want to get that all.
Oh, okay. You have to keep the gathers down.
Yep, you just lay this right here on that seam, and that will keep them from moving them, and you work up to it, and then just pull that a little bit. If you keep those right now, that's another reason that I like to have that gather line on my seam line. So that I have now here, see how they'll lay and I can control them? Like right here where I don't have enough, you see with your awl how easily you can adjust and do that, and then put that back down and pull that over, keeping your raw edges together. And I'm not going to go all the way around because you know what I'm doing. All right. So we have that. And so that would have been all the way around. And then you bring this up and over. And you see you have a beautiful little narrow band on there. Now, if you wanted it wider, I mean, you can determine what you want by your neck, or it can even be a little smaller. But I like a narrow, if I'm going to do a little bias band, I like a narrow little band. If it was mine, most of the time, I would come back in here, and you see I still have enough
and we're
to lay
in the
over
ditch.
and stitch in the ditch. But you can do it by hand.
And we do it on the inside?
Yes. Well, if you're going to stitch in the ditch, you have to stitch on the outside.
Okay.
And if you're doing it by hand, of course, you're going to work it on the inside. And what you can do if you're working it by hand, you can actually follow your little stitch line and pick up where that is.
Okay.
But I haven't got time. I want to do it like this. And then I also, though, what is very important when you're doing this one is to make sure that you turn it wrong side out for a stitch in the ditch. Remember, you have your stitch length down less than 2. And again,
That's bad. Don't look at that.
Again, you are stitching on the inside of your circle, because when you do that, you see how everything is out of your way? All of the rest of the fabric is here. Instead of fighting it, and there is a major difference. If I had tried to do it this way, here, I've always got this stuff in my way, and it's just trying to